Being alone is vital and it's important. Learning to be alone, especially as a man. Let me give you a backstory. I'm super extroverted, right? Super extroverted. I like being around people. I like talking to people. If I'm in an Uber, I can't go without talking to the Uber unless they give off weird vibes. But besides that, I can't go without talking to them, right? Like I have to ask them a question. It just feels weird, like not talking for that long. And with that, as a kid, I've always been able to do great things, but I've always wanted people around me. I've always wanted people's approval. I always wanted people to see me or to be around people. And I've stuck with that this whole time, being like these past 6 months, I've been put in positions where I've had to have been alone, or had to learn to be alone and face my demons, face myself. You depend on people. It's crazy because we'll do so much stuff for other people. We'll get ready, we'll look good for the girl on a date, we'll take care of ourselves so well. But when it's just for ourselves, when it's just us, we don't put in that same effort. Isn't that weird? Isn't that backward? We'll get so ready for a girl, get a haircut, but for ourselves, when we want to look in the mirror, it's like we don't put in that same effort. I think that's the problem that we face now in this generation as men, as us being nice guys, people pleasing, all these things, right? It's a problem because somewhere along the line, as I was editing this, I realized that I failed to articulate what I meant and what I was trying to say. What I was saying is that as young men, and as we grow up now, even as boys, somewhere along the line we were taught that the only way we can receive love, or that we're deserving of love, is through sacrifice. Through sacrificing ourselves, or because we saw somebody in our lives, whether if it's our parents or whatever, imitate that. So we believe that we gotta sacrifice ourselves, that we gotta people please, that we gotta devote our time and energy into other people and serve other people, especially as men. We gotta serve and give. And so I'm here to help you work through that, help you build through that. That's what the video was on. So if I fail to articulate more as I'm editing, I'll come back, but hopefully not. That was it. But then when it comes to us giving time to ourselves, having a me day, having a me time, we almost have a disgust towards that. Like, what are you talking about? And we associate that with being selfish. When we want to put our priorities above somebody else, I can't help but feel guilty. Or I used to can't help but feel guilty because, especially when it was like my family depended on me, and sometimes I'd be drowning, and I'd still give them the life vest. You know what I'm saying? I was reading this book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Very good book, highly recommend. And it talks about this particular scenario of a man that, in the same situation, he always felt like he needed to get his people's approval. He'd give a lot to his girlfriend or to his wife. He'd you know what I'm saying? Without saying anything, he expected her to give him the same energy. And when he didn't feel like she gave him that same energy, he'd get into a fight with her. And then he'd say, I'm sorry, make it up, and then again and again, not physical fight, but argument. The author, if I'm not mistaken, he told him, because I guess he's a therapist, he told him, why don't you give that energy into yourself? Why don't you give that time into yourself? Why don't you have a you time? Why don't you improve your circumstances? And the guy was like, what are you talking about? That's selfish. I don't want to do nothing like that. I don't want to be like my father. My father was selfish. He's like, do it. So the guy went home. He started going to the gym. A small thing of bettering yourself. He started going to the gym. And at first his girlfriend was like, bro, that's not fair. You got to go to the gym. And he started feeling like guilty because he started prioritizing himself for once. And now his girlfriend's making it worse because she's like kind of attacking him because there's a change in his habits, right? He goes anyways, and then little by little he starts doing it more often. He starts feeling good in himself. He starts going to sleep better. His girlfriend starts complimenting him, and so she starts changing her life and her habits. And so yeah, she goes to the gym as well, and she drops her kids off in the daycare, and then she's doing her Pilates class. So him, instead of giving his all into somebody, he had to walk that path of loneliness that every man must walk, and if he refused to walk it, he'll never grow. And so he had to walk that path of loneliness in some form, give back to himself, give that same energy to himself, and improve himself. And that's the hard part, because you're not used to it. You're uncomfortable. You can't imagine that. And I find that a lot of guys in this generation are like this. And so just off of that, him leading from the front, him making that change, and his wife eventually following his lead, and then going to the gym as well and inspiring her to be better because he's doing better. That's a beautiful thing. I talk about that all the time on my channel, but it all starts off with you learning how to be alone. That time that you spend texting that girl, giving that girl attention that really is just using you for attention, that's really just using you for that validation, distracting yourself with all these bad habits. Devote that time to being alone. Also, another important point that I want to make about being alone. This is not the fake being alone, because I'm gonna raise my hand. I've also done this. You see a video like this and it talks about, yeah, bro, focus on yourself, work on yourself. You lie to yourself. You say, yeah, bro, I'm not focused on no girls. I'm gonna focus on myself. You know what I'm saying? But you use that as a facade. In reality, no girl wants you because you're not truly working on yourself. You don't really work on yourself. You just use that as an excuse why you're not making progress, why you're not improving, why you're not being better, why you're not actually truly experiencing yourself being alone. When in reality, you feel loneliness in your heart. You don't feel the peace that I felt when I was out there. You feel the loneliness in your heart of, damn, I don't have anybody. Damn, I don't have that love that I crave so much, that intimacy. I don't mean sexually, but genuine love. But in reality, your body is really craving that love from yourself. And that's what I mean. So when I say learn to walk alone, you must be alone at least once so that you can grow. I'm not saying lie to yourself. I'm saying actually be genuine about it and discover things about yourself. Learn, actually find interest in it. Because you'll actually learn some things about yourself that you didn't really know or that you might have forgotten. In that, I don't mean you being alone and being at your house and playing video games or scrolling through Instagram or going on the apps and you might think it's productive, but it's not because you're... But first of all, our ancestors are hunters. Our ancestors are warriors. You can go outside. You can live in an apartment complex for 7 years. Me not know who my neighbors are. I don't know who the neighbor is across the street. I don't know who the neighbor is behind me. I don't know who the neighbor is next door to me. I don't know who the neighbor is right on top of me. Isn't that crazy? And that's a recent problem. Like, even for you, you might think, oh, like, that's normal. I don't know my neighbors, but that's a recent problem. Before neighbors knew each other, it was a community. That's why they call it a community and neighborhood. My friends are out doing their thing. They keep inviting me, but I feel like I'm just now learning and experiencing like how freeing being alone is. I went to the masjid because today's Juma, right? And after that, I went to go eat in a restaurant by myself. I sat there, ate my food, chilled, relaxed. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in nature and probably record a video. Or at least chill, watch the sunset. The sun's setting right now over there. Beautiful, behind some trees. There's a lake right behind me. Super peaceful, bro. You don't need to spend money to be alone. We got to be moving towards a purpose. We cannot be moving towards a purpose spending 8 hours at home inside. Idle hands is the devil's workshop. So guess what you're going to be doing when you're scrolling and editing your video, but you got another tab open and you're scrolling. You already know, bro. Just experience life on your own. That's the most important thing, is loving yourself more than anything. And it sounds selfish, but it's selfless. Because when you have that love in your heart for yourself, you have enough love for everybody else. You can't do that if you don't love yourself first. Enjoy the atmosphere. Be present in everything. And be grateful. Even if you don't have much, be grateful. And little by little, you start working on yourself. Even going to the gym, like, you start doing things alone and you start enjoying it more and more. And that's coming from an extrovert. That's like, I sound so introverted right now, but that's coming from somebody that loves being around people. I feed off of people's energy. I love working with people. I work great in a team, but I love being alone. I'm learning to love being alone, even without girls to talk to. Even that's another bad habit too. Like, I felt like I needed to have girls and talk. Before I was Muslim, felt like I needed to have girls and all these things and texting and constantly like keeping myself entertained. When like, why? That just brings headache. That just brings like unwanted situations, drama. What's exciting is looking forward to what I have to the day and figuring out how I can enjoy my own company in a different way, keeping it interesting. Okay, I'm editing a video, let me go to a cafe and edit a video. Let me go outside and find somewhere close where it has internet, or if I don't need internet, edit a video under a tree or something. I don't know. But in doing that, and I really want you to do this and experiment, like spend most of your day outside. Even if you gotta spend it at, like, in school. I don't want to spend it in school, bro. I promise you, you'll get all your homework done within an hour, and then you'll have the rest of the day free, and you'll get good grades because you're doing your work. It keeps you locked in. Whatever you want to work on that. But just don't spend most of your day at home. Our parents were right. It was the damn phone. It is the damn video games. It is the damn TV. It's like, oh, they don't know. They grew up in a different generation. But why is our generation going through the worst depression, worst mental issues, worst? When we're working on a purpose and we're working towards something, we got to be out the whole day, especially us as men. Fight training, whatever. Spend your whole day in near your gym or in the gym if you need to. Just so I don't stay inside all the time, distracted and unfocused, losing my path. Whatever it is for you, whether if it's fighting, whether if it's making YouTube videos, poetry, reading, find a way to stay outside and do the things. You shouldn't be home, bro. From late morning to afternoon to even evening, be outside. Make that a challenge to be outside, even if it's once a week. Within that time period, working on your purpose though. Not wasting time, not doing stupid stuff alone. I promise you, once you get home, once you lay on your bed, you'll be truly tired because you were out, you were doing things. Your circadian rhythm is your circadian clock is aligned. As opposed to you just being on your phone the whole day, no exercise, no nothing, maybe editing videos, maybe saying you were productive, but you were just recording videos. So embrace the love for yourself, embrace being alone, and work on yourself and focus up, man. That's pretty much it. This was on the fly video, so I hope it's entertaining enough or beneficial enough. My love. Peace.